Come on, look at this thing. It's dirty. That's what it looks like. Maybe it fell in the mud and they went,
Eh?
we could do something with
Eh?
this.
There's only you have the one and only one.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, it was probably only on the shelf because a kid came along and was like, "Oh my God, yes," or a collector or something, and they picked it up and they went, "Oh my God, no, no." Hey everyone,
Hey everybody.
and welcome to Why You Still Here, the show that we talk about whatever we want. And this edition of the show is our review, our first thoughts of Superman.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
But not just that, I've already covered the non-spoiler section. So just want to throw that out there. Spoilers are coming.
So if you
Asterisk.
haven't seen the movie,
Spoilers.
this is your fair warning that you can either
Yes.
leave or you can listen and then get spoiled. Some people like to do that. I've never understood it. I've
I
never
don't
understood it.
I can't imagine anything that's really so spoilery that will like change um your experience with the movie, but
Who knows?
whatever.
Can't say we
And
didn't warn you.
I had this written up since the other day, but honestly, I wanted to just remove the spoiler part and just put good cop, bad cop, because basically what this is going to be is there's always been like this feeling in general that people liked me a little bit more than they liked you. And I don't know if that's because they see more of me, through shorts or I'm like, like I'm like I have, a lot of
More of
the
a
same
face.
opinions as the
Do
people.
you make better
And
points? Am I stupid? Don't answer that.
I mean, that's all neither here nor there, but I always felt that a little bit. That's out the window for this video 100%. I am going to be the one that is disliked heavily, and then you will become the people's waysher, I
The
guess.
people's wager.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess
that's
that's how
that's
it's going to
funny.
be. So, yeah. Quickly, right before we get into the points here, I just want to show this. So you were very disappointed the other day when I passed up the opportunity to buy something like this. And this ended up being even better. I was not looking for it. It was on the shelf at Target, and I went, that's even better. And it was before the movie
Okay.
came out. And so basically, it's the gold label of this figure. And from this angle, you're probably like, that doesn't look any different. Oh, it's the battle damaged edition. And it's not even a different sculpt. All that means is it looks like some shit was rubbed on it.
Oh my God. He's shit everywhere. There's shit everywhere! Damn it! There's shit on the windows! Oh my God! My house is full of shit!
I can't
Really even,
you can't even see it
I
on
know,
this
how terrible is
terrible.
that? See it
Okay,
on
you
the
can see
S
a
a
little
little
bit
bit?
on I didn't even notice. I noticed a tiny bit up here on the shoulder and then on the arm, or is that
I mean, it's
oh.
like darker. It literally looks like shit was rubbed on it, and that's it. Because in the movie, his S is like being torn apart a little bit. Like it should be a different sculpt. It really should be. You
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
um, his nose is a little dirty on this. I mean,
Looks like David Corn Sweat though.
yeah, yeah, the likeness is good.
Like the hair looks good too.
I'm sure they scanned his face. But I was just like, I'm so happy I didn't buy that first figure because of course I want the one that looks like it was rubbed in shit. Who doesn't want that,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, terrible, terrible. I mean the
I'm
figure
glad that you
itself
got
is
something
fine,
just to
but
complain about. That's great. That's
oh
good shit.
yeah, I'll whip it out a lot.
If you know, you know.
That's what she said. That's what I was looking for.
Can you hear crypto
Oh,
whining in the
look,
background?
we got this. Look at the hands.
Two of the and they're the right hands, right? They're not two of the same.
No, they're yeah, they're two different hands, but see like the stuff. The shitty it's hard to get an angle there. See that rubbed all over it?
Oh, that looks really bad.
Yeah. It looks like he stuck his
Okay.
hand like up an elephant's ass or something.
As being nice. I mean, and it's kind of in that shape too, like he's fisting it. He's just ready to go.
Are you telling me the man who tried to put a rubber fist in my anus was a homosexual?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so we're gonna go through our points here again. Spoilers. We don't want to be held responsible for anybody being spoiled that doesn't want to be. And I feel a lot of people have seen this movie already, though, so I think we might be okay on that.
Exactly. And if you've
I'm
kept up on the saga, we've kept up on the saga since the first trailer. Okay. And we've had differing thoughts as it's progressed. So going into this, we were reticent, okay, to say the least. So I feel like that just needs to be said in the beginning.
Yes, yes, indeed. So we're just gonna go through our positives. I'm gonna go through mine. Lucas will mention some of his, and then we'll go into negatives, and then we're out. So, something that I mentioned in my non-spoiler review, and it still very much applies. I just want people to know that if Henry Cavill starred in this movie, like, and it was everything was the same except just Henry Cavill was the only difference in it
Opinions would not change people.
at all.
Not one bit.
I would feel
The star
exactly
power
the
wouldn't help.
same.
Yes. And
No,
your short made 100% sense by the time I was finished watching the movie. So,
very
yes.
good. Very good. So yeah, so let's just do it here. The beginning of the movie I think is very strong. This is something we have already seen before, almost in its entirety, almost.
Hmm.
And it's Superman injured. He falls into the North Pole. He's calls Crypto. Crypto brings him into the Fortress of Solitude. Um, I was completely on board at that point. I liked it a lot, all the way up
Hmm.
until they zoom in on his chest, and I was like, oh, this might be something really special, actually. Like I was into it, all of it. Don't love him yelling because the sun is healing him. Very weird choice, but I already knew that was in the movie, so. Um, the cast is phenomenal. The standout for me was Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She is fantastic. I would say, just so people don't think I'm just a hater, I would say she's the best Lois Lane
I mean,
out of all of them.
their dynamic really worked. In the very beginning of the movie, they're all buddy buddy, and then they got really serious with the interview, and I'm like, well, this is a strange tonal shift, which happens a lot in this movie. We'll get to.
Hmm.
And I was getting a little questiony, but by the very end of it, like you don't question the camaraderie, and I loved the stupid little spin together when they were kissing at the very end, and they were just floating together. Good shit. Yes, she is a very good Lois Lane.
She is very good. And David, David, why do I always do that? David Cornsweet. If you're watching our video, you've heard it already 1,000 times. He's great. Nathan
Did a very good
Fillion
job.
as Green Lantern, as Guy Gardner,
I
whatever you
didn't
want to call
even
him.
I didn't even put it together that that was him until the end credits when his name flashed.
Mm, the Flash isn't in this movie.
You know where it hurts? In my dick. Okay.
Anyway, so no, I know. And he was great though. He was very funny,
Oh yeah.
and I don't know a lot about Guy Gardner, but everything I know about him was great. And Eddie Gathegi, I thought it was Gathegi, but looking it up online, how you pronounce it, I think it's Gathegi. He's a Kenyan American actor. He was Mr. Terrific, and he
And
was
he was
terrific.
terrific.
No,
Yeah, it
he
was
was
one of my
great,
favorite
Joe.
parts of the movie. Yeah, he's
I
great.
think a
Really,
lot of
really good.
people already knew about the character, from not comic books, but actually from the CW TV shows. He was on Arrow and then in the crossovers and stuff. So I already knew about the character, but this is like the definitive version of it. And I'm sure people will leave this movie fans of Mr. Terrific. And they make fun of his name too, which is cool because the name is terrible, but that's
Yeah,
always
but
been the
it's great.
case. So there is a lot of instances that are very funny in this movie. I will give it that. I did chuckle a few times. There are other times where the humor is massively misplaced, but we're not to the negatives yet. This is still the positives. This is a controversial one, but I thought the score was really great.
I thought the exact same thing. So I noticed that the sound design of the movie was fantastic because of how well Dolby was doing its thing, you know?
Hmm.
But, after, like the awe of the effects wears off, I noticed the score is fantastic.
It
Yes.
reminds me a lot of the Batman. Like it was sort of minimalist, but it was
See, I
effective.
wouldn't think to draw that parallel, but yes, it was enough to notice it, right? But to not for it to be over the top and take away. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
don't overuse the Superman theme either, I feel. So it's good. Yeah, I have no
Yeah,
issues there. I think it's notable.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It's getting dragged through the mud though by people that even like
Really?
the movie. So, yeah. The suit is fine,
Yeah, it looks so much
shockingly.
better in the movie.
I never really gave up a chance to complain about the suit. I even have a short that was
From
kind of
like
a
a year
famous
ago,
short
right?
where I just complained about it and put in fart sounds and stuff. I went the classic James Gunn route, you could say, and the suit's fine. They almost certainly had to have visually touched it up. So
Yeah, it
that's
doesn't look
good.
as slouchy or baggy.
No, because any behind the scenes photos you see of it, it's terrible.
It
Like
ends up having
terrible.
It does have a good shape and silhouette. I do really like the way the cape lays on it, how it kind of sets in right here at the shoulder pieces. And like I said before, I like the colors they go with. They do have that kind of muted sort of like comic book look. Same with the logo, and I was on board with that. The movie is very comic booky overall, which I'm sure you've heard from everybody that's reviewed it.
Yes, yes, indeed. The logo is from Kingdom Come, which is a notable storyline. Why they went with that logo, I don't know, but they did. The scene with Lois and Mr. Terrific, when I say that, you obviously know what scene I'm talking about. There's a song that's playing with it. He encases her in
Like a bubble shield of
like a
some sort.
shield, and he's kicking their ass. That's a very, very, very James Gunn
Oh,
scene.
100%.
When I'm for people that don't know, why would you, unless you're listening to us against our will? I'm going to show Lucas some of what I consider good James Gunn material, and you will see that same sort of scene come up probably 20 times just in two movies alone. So it does get old, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was stylized
And
very well. I
there's
had
only
fun with it.
two like needle drops in this movie. James Gunn is very much so known for his needle drops. He even said he's like, "Oh, I'd rather have for this film score instead of needle drops." And it's like, okay, great. Good job, James Gunn. Metamorpho is okay. I don't really know too much about the character, but he was played by Anthony Carrigan and he was good. He was good. He's one of those actors that has the same thing as the Hills Have Eyes guy. What's his name again?
Um, wow, I already forgot his name. Michael Berryman. It's
That's
called
right.
like
Lucas's enemy.
my best friend. It's like some kind of dysplasia or something.
I don't know what it is. It's something, but can't grow any hair in his head. James Drew Courtney as well. He has it as well. So
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. I think definitely maybe not. Maybe I'm
I
spreading
was gonna
I'm
say there's a bit of
spreading there's some
this is
crossed
different, but
wires because of damn the Jason from the remake. I can't believe I can't think of his name at the moment.
Yeesh, what is my neighbor doing?
You know
She really like
exactly who he is.
she really likes Superman.
Damn it. Derek Mears. So Derek Mears is somebody that has that same condition. Let's just find out what it is. Because there's only a couple actors that have that. And it makes them kind of notable.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mears condition. Alopecia. So it's autoimmune
Oh, it like attacks your
alopecia.
hair and you lose your hair. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like completely bald. Like they don't have eyelashes, eyebrows, or hair. Um, so probably scratch the James Shoe Courtney part. He probably doesn't have it, unless he does, which is cool. Anyway,
Anyway,
it's also Jada Pinkett Smith has it, so that's why she keeps her hair short a lot of the time.
keep her
Anyway,
name out your fucking mouth.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I know. What was I thinking? Oh God, Will Smith.
Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Anyway, so Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho, he's good. He has a scene that's between him and, Nathan Fillion. It's kind of funny. Short little moment. I like the robots,
The
which,
automatons?
Superman refers to as Superman robots. And people gave it a little bit of a hard time for that, but that's what they're called. They're called the
Oh,
Superman
really?
robots. So, it's funny when Superman himself is calling them Superman robots, but whatever. They might be in other things as well, but they're right from All-Star Superman. And I didn't
Hmm.
even notice that they had capes on them as well until I was actually editing my video and I looked back at hey, I just got a text from Logan that says that he just saw Superman and he's curious what my thoughts are.
Well, you can send them this video
Yes,
after
yes.
after the fact.
So yeah, I like the robots, and this is my last positive, and that is that Crypto is okay. He
He gets a
doesn't
little
steal the
stale by the
show, in my
end of the movie because
opinion.
they overdo him a little too much. And it
A,
didn't even
a
seem like
lot
the
of too
kids cared.
much.
And I mean, I'm a
No,
sucker for it because, of course, I'm a dog owner myself. As you maybe even hear him crying right now, he's wearing a red bandana himself. He's
you
like the
cannot
negative
hear
Crypto
it.
because he's black. Come here.
When I don't me, myself, and I were leaving the theater on Tuesday, a father, I think, looked at his daughter who was like maybe 6 years old and said, "Did you like the movie?" And she went, "Yeah." That was her response. So that tells you everything you need to know. Any additional positives you want to throw on this before we move to the negatives?
So, like I said, I do really like the comic book look of it. It does look like, you're turning a page at times. I do see the overall like image of where they're going with it. But like I said, I feel like they just kind of are throwing too many things all out at once. Like I did enjoy like the geopolitical aspect of it. That didn't bother me, and I kind of wish they would have kept a little bit more of that in there because when that was going on, it seemed to be a bit more of a serious tone, which I know this isn't the Snyder stuff, so I do have to keep separating it. But I did enjoy that. Brandon said that he didn't like that. So I guess we can keep that for your negative part of it. But I think
Yeah.
in today's current political climate, I could use with a little bit of political drama and something that is like Superman. It's a
Mhm.
very American thing. You're proud to be an American at times. And, Superman, they do good to showcase that he is there to save everybody and really be the best person he can be. So I get some of the ideas, but the theming is off.
Some of the action is okay as well. James Gunn's not a bad director. It's obviously very CGI reliant, which I
It
knew I
it is.
expected, but it has some good moments here and there as far as the action goes. A lot of like I wish there was more stuff with Lois and Clark because they have a good chemistry with each other
I feel
and
like it's funny you say that because I feel like they almost tried to put two movies in one. It's like they're just missing so much
just two.
exposition. More than that, sure. But there's so much missing of character building that you're just kind of supposed to blindly trust. But they all do such a good job of acting that you can kind of get in the swing of it, you know what I mean? But yes, that is a point of
It's
contention.
almost like this is the second movie in like a trilogy, and we already lost an entire first movie where we would have gotten all this background information that we needed.
Yeah,
Not that
because
we
you only
needed
get
like,
maybe
they
10 to
could have done
15
like
minute.
the
Continue.
they could have done like the Batman v Superman thing, like with Batman and it just condensing Batman's like story in that like 5 or 6 minute opening. Like they could have done that and they didn't have to focus on any of that other stuff if they didn't want to, but we definitely still needed some background information because it's like, well, he and Lois are already in a relationship and all that kind of stuff. So, um, it feels like we're missing a lot of stuff. And now negatives, the way the movie starts, where it's like, metahumans were introduced 30 years ago, and uh,
This happened three months
Kal-El came
ago,
to
and this happened
Earth,
30
and
minutes
this,
ago, and this was three
yeah,
seconds ago.
three three
Three's everywhere.
days ago, Superman entered into a country he wasn't supposed to. 3 minutes ago, he lost his first
Hey,
fight,
knock it off.
Crypto!
What the hey, dude?
and that kind of thing. So it's obviously it's like, trying to be like this and like just trying to condense everything in words on the screen, but still doesn't tell us anything about why this is a different universe. And it
Again, it's that blind
is
leap of faith. You're just supposed to trust it and know. You know what I
they're
mean?
gonna have to explain it at some point. We have seen the trailer for Peacemaker where Peacemaker comes across another Peacemaker. So they're going to answer it, I guess, in that show, which was the rumor for like years now that they were going to do that, possibly with Batmite. I hope they don't do that. Um, please, for the love of God, don't do that. And we'll see though. So it's the Snyderverse Peacemaker meeting the Gunverse Peacemaker. So we'll find out, I guess, what happened there. Anyway. So yeah, it skips over a lot. Editing is very messy. It's very clear that a lot has been cut out of this movie. Rumors suggest like an hour, maybe more, was cut out
I
of
would
this
not be
movie.
surprised. The movie's 2 hours and 9 minutes, I believe. It feels like it's an hour and 47, and it should feel like it's 2:26. Needs to
It
be
should
longer.
be 226, not just feel it. It's interesting because they release the kaiju, which looks like an axolotl, and it's a little baby at first, and it's running around, and it's just like classic James Gunn. It's
Yeah, that
cute,
kind of
it's
bothered
funny,
me because
and
it was
then
too cute and too funny, but annoying.
they cut. And the
And then
very next scene, it's gigantic, and Superman is trying to stop its foot from hitting a dog. Like what happened to all this stuff in between? And they make reference to it that it was like 6 foot tall in a coffee shop at one
yeah.
point, causing havoc. And then the way that he kind of treats that dog is very weird to me too. Again, it's another CGI dog, but he like blows it into a tree and it
Yeah,
hits
it
the
was like a
tree
phone pole, I
hard.
think, to like break the fall. Yeah, they're in like a town square almost.
It hits it
Yeah.
hard.
It
It's weird. Like he should have blown it into like a sack of pillows or something. I don't know.
a bush,
Why is
a
there a
pile of
bush?
leaves,
Yeah,
anything.
it's weird. Anyway, I think it was a tree though for sure because it was like a town square, like you said. There wasn't phone poles there in
Or like
like a park.
a crosswalk. I don't know. It was it was some
It was a
pole-shaped
tree.
object.
It was a tree. Anyway, so because of that, I mean, it's messy, it's bloated, and it is. This is sort of disconnected, but it's just too fantastical, in my opinion. I'm somebody that doesn't mind the fantastical, and it's too fantastical for me. When you have baby Joey that's in this movie, that's just like an alien baby that he's holding on to,
And it looks so
and
fake.
it's of course it looks fake. The only good thing that comes from that is Mr. Terrific later on being like, being like, we got Superman, a baby, and a squiddy dude, and that's the
Yes,
only
that was very funny.
that was the only good thing that came from that. And yeah, so what is next here? It's funny because my positives are just like, like a couple words. When we get into my negatives, they're full on
You have
paragraphs.
sent, oh, paragraphs.
So yeah, so I am like ranting as I'm writing it. The driving plot of the movie, this is probably my biggest issue with it. So there's two things here. We'll get to the second one in just a second, but the first one is the message from his Kryptonian parents, Jor-El and Lara, and half of their message has always been damaged, and now the engineer repairs it, and it turns out they're evil as shit. And they tell you right away, like Mr. Terrific, who's a computer genius, was like, nope, it's not AI. These are people I trust. It's definitely not AI. Okay.
Yeah, I hated that. I was rooting for it to be fake. I thought there's no way in hell they could go with this plot point, but then they ceased to amaze me by going with that plot point. And
I think they did
that is,
amaze you.
it's ridiculous. I hate everything about it.
It's terrible. And even and that comes from somebody that doesn't have like a massive background and whatnot on their parents, his parents. I mean, they're supposed to be very noble, just great beings. And they basically turned them into evil, telling them to go to the earth and imprison everybody and create a harem of women and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. Not a fan of that, but even keeping that in mind, I don't understand why this changed everybody's opinion on Superman. He's been around for 3 years, I think it said. They've seen all the wonderful things he's done.
He's proved his
Why
worth
is
by that
it?
point.
Yeah, so why
Yeah,
is
and
it
then
that one single message has made them hate him
in
like that?
in social media presence, it's like it's alluded to, it's brought up quite
Oh,
a bit.
oh,
Remember
we'll
the
get there.
are we gonna talk about
Oh, my
that?
notes. I have it in my notes because I think there's two driving forces to the plot of this movie. The one is his parents, and the second one is social media. And they bring it up so much. I didn't think it was funny even in the first scene where yes, who she is Miss Teschmacher, by the way. They don't say it in the movie, but she is. They just call her Eve. But get out of here, Eve, you idiot. That got a laugh out of me. That was good. Anyway, because she is. But when Lois says, like, oh, sometimes I see, you looking at the comments looking real sad. Oh, well, you can't use that, that made me laugh a little bit. But then she goes like hashtag super shit. And he goes, no, come on, Lois, that one particularly bothers me. And it's like, see, it just went too far. The scene went too far. I never thought that was funny personally.
Yes, that's one issue that I have with the humor is they they have one part that'll make you like chuckle, and they have a part that just dismantles whatever just came before it, and it
Just takes
happens
it too
so
far.
consistently. The crowd that I saw it with, other than the Justice Gang stuff, was very mostly silent and really not laughing at a lot of the funny stuff. And honestly,
Yeah.
I was kind of the same way.
It's weird that they turn on him like that. And I get that it would bother him because he has always looked at his parents as these noble beings. But then again, he knows exactly what his Earth father told him, and that is it doesn't matter why you were sent here. It matters what you do here in your heart, how you feel, what you thought you were sent here for. Like that's all that matters. And I'm thinking, like, why wouldn't he have thought that immediately? It's a shock
It's
that his
almost like
parents
making a
suck.
character arc that doesn't need to exist, right?
Exactly. It's a shock that his parents suck, but he should know well enough at this point to go, well, that doesn't matter because that's not why I'm here. It's been 3 years. It hasn't been 3 months. It's been 3 years that he's been around. Anyway, so there's almost no Clark Kent in this movie. There's
Yeah.
one singular scene of him
Is it really
in
just
the
one?
office. I think so.
Yeah, I guess when he's
Where,
going to work and then he comes in late and then yeah,
yep.
I think that might be
Hey,
it.
loser. hey Steve, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And being like, oh yeah, well, Superman did tell me that he thought that was a fake Baravian accent. It's like, oh, why do you always get your interviews with Superman? All that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
As far as I know, that's the only time it's brought up. Let's talk about the political stuff, shall we? I, I, I've already talked about it. I hated it. It's the only time I'm going to use the word hate. And I'll tell you why. I deal with the political stuff in real life enough. I go into a Superman movie to get away from that. And now they bring it up in the movie where it is literally these two countries are fighting each other, like Russia and Ukraine or Gaza and Israel. And I'm just like, this just became too real for me. And I could not be more checked out of this plot. And it
See,
angered me.
that's why I liked it because it seemed real. It became a little more gritty, and I got invested to it. So I guess I liked it for the complete opposite reason. Same reason, but I liked it for it. Sure, yeah, that.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
very fascinating.
There's too much political stuff all over the place, and it's like I need less of it, not more
When
of
they
it.
first showed the Bavarian president, like, he was far away doing
Baravian.
Bavarian. Did I say Bavarian?
Yeah.
So when they
There is
showed
not Germany.
so when they show the Bavarian president, they do it far away, and I see like the crazy hair and the goofy like accent. I'm like, did they fucking put Christopher Lloyd in this movie? And then I'm like, oh, it's not Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, it's a guy that Superman shoves up against a cactus, apparently.
Yeah, and then
It's just
gets
like, so
really
you've resorted to
interrogated about it.
torture?
No, they were
He's
like,
like, well,
this big.
they were
Yeah.
like that big. Yeah. Not this big. That would cause puncturing of your organs.
They were like this big.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah.
That's what she said.
Um, Now we're on to the part that you alluded to. Social media.
Oh God.
These comments are not being made by people, which would make sense because they're angry at Superman. No, they're being made by a team of monkeys.
Literally with a helmet on their fucking heads, screeching and typing.
Hmm. I don't
Which is
care.
a great allegory for trolls on the internet, sure, but it was so stupid.
Superman would have real trolls that are insulting things that he's doing. He would. That's real life. So I didn't mind the social media aspect at first when it was like, okay, as long as they don't mention it too much, it makes sense that he would have, people that didn't believe in him, naysayers, people that were dicks online, trolls,
Of
whatever you want to
course.
say. But then they're like, oh no, he doesn't have any of that. These are just monkeys that are controlled by Lex.
Yeah, that was something.
And it was like, okay, it's something you'd see in like a off the wall comic, but I was not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. Also, you know what I'm not a fan of? Hawk Girl and the incessant screaming that she does.
I don't know if the camera caught that,
What's
but
with
that
the
was
screaming? It did a little bit. What's with the screaming? Hawk Girl is in. Is she in Black Adam? Hawk Man is definitely in Black Adam. It's a couple, Hawk Man and Hawk Girl.
okay.
And yeah, nothing against what's her name? Something Merced. Nothing against her at all. But I hated the screaming. It just really annoyed me.
I thought it was like kind of funny the first two times, but by the end of it, it gets a little annoying because it's every time she fights. It's every time. And it will
She
more or
doesn't,
less like the swoop in, and it's always accompanied with the screech.
yeah, Screech is a better way of putting it, actually. So Isabella Merced, by the way, nothing against her. She was in Alien Romulus, actually, but
Oh, nice.
she wasn't the star of it, but she was in it. She was the pregnant girl, the one that was, with the British guy. There's something in the water. There's something in the water. You know that.
Yes. I should have
So
plugged in my computer before it dies and explodes on me. Continue.
I'm just being risky with it. Mine has 22%. Anyway, so Was not a fan of the weird screeching. There's no version of
Yeah.
that character that does that as far as I know, and it annoyed me right from the start because it was never supposed to be funny. It was supposed to just be like, oh yeah, this is just what that
I mean,
character
every
does.
time the Justice Gang fought, it ended up being funny to the point where when Lois and Superman were having their moment together, it was continuing to go in the background, and it was so annoying. It was like 2 minutes, and nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Hmm. So why does Clark seem to hate his adoptive parents so much? He he gets a call from them where they're like, Clark, we
Tw
are just
22,
thinking of you. And he's
22
like, yeah,
missed
okay,
calls at
bye. I
one
gotta
point.
go. I gotta go. Yeah, 22 missed calls. All right, I gotta go. And no offense to anybody out there, but why do they seem stupid? It's like they
That was
went
the
too
first thing
far
Brandon
with
said when we
it.
mentioned it. Yeah, because they're supposed to be like, you know, the down south Kansas easy living couple to kind of show different
Yeah,
facets of America. And like I get it. So that's what I was saying where like I understand like what they're trying to do, but it's just an execution that doesn't really work.
yeah.
They're just not
It's
as
like,
as
oh,
fleshed out and
they're simple, but they're good-hearted.
yeah,
It's
that's
like I'll take Diane Lane any day over that, please.
but when the dad when he gave his monologue at the end and started crying. I thought that was nice. That was nice and heartfelt. And then she had to come out there and be like, why are you always such a pushover? Or whatever she calls him, like
Big
mushy, mush,
softy,
or mush.
mush.
I think I can't remember.
Yeah, whatever. Who
Yeah.
cares? So this is not the actor's fault at all, but anytime I see the actor that plays Pa Kent, I just think of Identity with John Cusack and Ray Liotta and all that because he's the serial killer in that movie. And he has this condition where his eyes move back and forth. Like this is real life, the actor. He like does this all the time, but his eyes, they never really focus on his eyes in this movie, so you don't see
I
it.
guess I would have
But
never noticed.
yeah, he does that. And yeah, so I don't know. The actors were fine, but I just wasn't
Yeah,
a
they
big
all did
fan of the
good.
Kents.
I think they should have been more fleshed out with a little bit more time, as a lot of things should be in this movie. Because I
Yes,
wanted to see
yes.
more of them. I wanted to see more of his Kansas life. You know, if this is the new Superman, let's talk about more of his origins. I really feel that way. Because again, some of the stuff that they're
Sure.
trying is good, but it's just the writing isn't really there at times.
But Lucas, there's like 8 seasons of a show all about this that you can go watch. It's called Smallville.
I guess you're right.
How dare you question James Gunn? Yes. So they leaned into this fact with the kaiju earlier on that Superman will save anybody and anything. Like he'll save a
A
woman, he'll
squirrel.
save a squirrel, he'll save, a little girl that's stupidly walking down the street, seeming to have no idea what's going on behind her. Do you see that? She's like,
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's a trailer moment too, where like the propane
it
tanks or something are
is,
going off, and
but
he
they
does
just
the
don't show
whole.
the before it, where she's
Oh,
just
okay.
walking. I'm like, golly gee, Willikers, like
She's
she has no
skipping
idea this
to.
city's being destroyed behind her. So that was way too goofy. But I like Superman saving a squirrel. The problem is that this is followed by a scene where he's in his apartment. We saw the photo. We all thought he was putting on his boot. It turns out he's taking off his boot as this pre-dimensional imp is being attacked in the background
That's what it
by
was
the
called.
Justice Gang and or interdimensional imp rather. And there's like a little bit of chuckle that comes from it when you see like Green Lantern like beating it with a giant green bat and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
But we know already, the movie has already told us how messy they are, that when they're trying to take something down, like the kaiju, that they will allow other people around to get hurt. That's why Superman had to go and save these people. And then when Lois is like, well, what are you going to do about that? And he's like, it's just an interdimensional imp. They got it. So I guess it doesn't matter about the animals this time and about the little girls and about the ladies that are walking around that area because I guarantee you they're dead. People are
Metropolis gets so
dead.
fucked up by the end of this movie. I would not be surprised if there were like thousands upon thousands of casualties. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, you may or may not know this, but people that are not fans of James Gunn, Zack Snyder will always say like, "Oh my God, how many people did he kill at the end of Man of Steel? Jesus, he's fighting in the city, and he's personally responsible for all those people that die in those buildings." And I take that and I raise you this movie because that kind of destruction happens like 3 or 4 times in this movie, unfortunately.
And not saying it's Superman's fault in the very, very last one because there's like the interdimensional time split because there was always some black hole. So all that's
Sure.
happening while he's still in Kansas and but then the Justice Gang got it while he goes for Lex Luthor. I don't know. It's a whole thing. The ending is there's a lot going on.
Agreed. Too much. Too
Continue.
much going on. How many times are you just going to have Superman laying on the ground hurt?
6 times?
Sure. I don't know how many times it was, but one time was enough.
Well, they're tapping into the human vulnerability part. There's a whole monologue at the very end. This is what separates me from you, Lex Luthor. I might be an alien, but I'm more human than you because that's what I'm here for. Dun, 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 dun.
Sure.
Yeah.
The only moment between those two characters I liked is when Lex turns and sees that Superman's flying at him and he goes and he starts trying to run really quick
Yeah,
and
it's
then
funny.
gets taken down through the window. It was just a quick moment. I liked it though. So, and we'll get to Lex. Don't you worry out there, people. The Ultraman twist with it really being a clone of Superman.
Yeah, it's funny too because he looks just like a homeless David Corn Sweat.
I mean, it's definitely just David Corn Sweat in a wig, but
Well, of course, yeah. He
that
doesn't have his
character
dyed black hair for Superman. Just
that
looks
character is like
like
an
David Corn Sweat.
evil version of Superman in the comics. Instead of an S on his chest, he has a U on his chest, but otherwise he pretty much looks the same. So they
Oh, but he's
went
in that whole suit this
very
movie
different with it
with a speaker
and
on the
made
front
it
too.
so
It's
it's a
Bluetooth.
clone. Really, Bizarro is the clone. Bizarro is like the Bizarro Superman. The S is backwards. He's wearing purple. He's like talks like this. My name Bizarro, like that kind of thing. We've never seen it done in a movie, and now they probably can't do it because of this, because Bizarro is the failed clone. Ultraman is not the failed clone. And this one didn't even talk, and I hate clones. I hate them, Lucas. I said I wasn't going to use the word hate again, but here we go. I hate clones.
Brandon also he hates one Weird Al song, and it's "I Think I'm a Clone Now."
I don't even know what that is, but I think I'm a clone now.
Yeah, that
Doesn't
it's
seem to be anyone around. Yeah, sure.
yeah, that one.
I've never heard that song by him, but
I think I'm a clone now. There's always two of me just a hanging around.
obviously I know the original song. I don't like clones though. Screw you, clone Palpatine. Go back where you came from. Somehow Palpatine's back. Anyway, here we go. Strap in, folks. If you don't hate me yet, you're going to hate me now because Lex Luthor in this movie is a whiny bitch, and I could not stand him at all. Nothing against at all. The performance is fine. Nicholas
It is a
Hoult,
good performance.
as I
He does
said,
a
is a
good job
great
as he always
actor.
does with
He's
the material
really
he's
trying.
provided.
The problem is the writing. Okay. That's the problem. Maybe the direction. In fact, definitely the direction, but mostly the writing, I assume, because that character like that was probably on the page, and I can't stand it. And what is fascinating to me is the same people that will insult Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, which this one was very much like, dangerously close, I would say. They think, oh no, Jesse Eisenberg, that's no good, but I loved this. And I'm just like, you love it just because it's James Gunn? I'm not saying that to you, but the people out there, is that the only reason? Because it's
Did
very
I say the
similar.
exact same thing about the Riddler when we talked about the Batman when I said he was a whiny bitch in that movie?
And I said it, that's
That was
good.
part of the
Yeah.
character, sure.
This is not part of the Luthor character. He's supposed to be very stoic, very strong. Doesn't ever really show his anger, like he's powerful.
Man, that's
He
so
doesn't
crazy because at
show
the
the
end when he does
cracks.
at the end when he does show the emotion finally, like when he's in the cop car, it's very subtle, of course, but I liked it. I liked the little touch of humanity that it added.
That's good.
But I guess me not having as much background knowledge, what in comparison to Brand New
Yeah.
Superman, it's gonna skew my perception of it. So
This is like
overall, I thought it was
no
fine.
other than Jesse Eisenberg, this doesn't reflect any other version of the character. And in the comic books, it doesn't reflect that at all either. Like, this simply is not Lex Luthor. It's just not. Sorry. Again, I
I'm
don't think
sorry too,
Nicholas
Brandon.
Hoult is the one that is at fault for it, but it's just not the character. And as I've mentioned before, I was not a fan of Jesse Eisenberg's take on it. So it's not like I'm like, oh,
Thank you for
only
clarifying.
Zack Snyder. Like, no, both are terrible. Except for Injustice League. Not Injustice, but in Justice League, the post-credit scene of both versions, they just changed it a little bit for Justice League, has Jesse Eisenberg in it, and he's shaved bald, and the way he's acting is much more like the character than anything we get in this movie. Just saying. So, also there's Rick Flag Sr., and this isn't going to mean anything to you, but he was the leader of the Suicide Squad knockoff Creature Commandos,
Oh, we
that
talked about that
show.
movie or
He
show.
he's the leader of it. Yeah. The guy in this movie, he's one of the guys that's in the room sitting at the table. He has the beard and
Oh,
dark hair.
wouldn't know that. Sure, yeah, that means nothing to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
He has like gray hair in Creature Commandos, and he was supposed to dye his hair gray to be, like in this movie, but some other project conflicted or something. I don't know. But his son is Rick Flag Jr., and he's in Suicide Squad, the first one, as well as James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, and he's killed by Peacemaker. So this is still the same guy. It gets real weird and dicey, but that still happened where his son died. So
Well,
apparently, I
we'll
mean,
have to
he's
see
going to
how
be
the
in Peacemaker
continuity
season
plays out.
two, so it's going to play out there. Okay, so there's that little part with Crypto watching flying squirrels on the screen. It's
Yeah,
goofy.
but
I
it was
don't hate
funny.
it, but it is goofy. So this one's gonna blow your mind. This is actually not a negative. I just wanted to wait until almost the end to mention it to you. So, Jimmy,
Yes, he's the guy who is in the quarry.
is he in
He's
the
one of the,
quarry?
yes, I could not for the it wasn't until the
I'll
very,
tell you
very
what you
end.
know him from, and it's not that.
Okay, because I could not put my face on it. And then when he was standing next to what's the girl's name that is all over him, he doesn't like her. You said it was her name was supposed to be Eve.
Eve
Yeah, yeah.
Teschmacher.
When he was standing next to her, I was like, "Oh, his girlfriend is blonde in the quarry." And they're at the like the very beginning where they're driving and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's the guy."
Yeah, that's right. He's only in like a couple scenes. That's why I can't
Yeah.
remember. He starts it off like it seems like he's going to be the star of it, and he's not even
Yeah,
remotely the star of
he's
it.
talking about
So
it.
you might know him from that as well. But his name is Skylar Gisondo, and I knew him really well from the Santa Clarita Diet. Do you still hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. I don't even think he's on the cover.
What you, of course he's probably, no, he is. He's right there. He's the one that's literally right in the middle of the screen. What are you talking about? He's
Oh,
under
right
the
there.
blonde hair girl.
I was looking at
Yeah.
all of them. Oops.
You're like
There he
shoving it
is.
right up in the screen. You're like, I don't even know
I
if
don't think
he's
he's
on there.
there.
Yeah. You know him from that. I'll tell you what you really know him from, sister. He's
Yeah.
Tommy Doyle in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, I knew
awesome.
this already, but I knew that you were going to have a very specific
Oh,
reaction to it. Like, I've
cool.
followed his work a little bit since that movie. I mean, he was in what was he in? He was in, I almost said We're the Millers. It's not that though. It's The Vacation movie with Ed
The Ed Helm
Helms
one.
and Christina Applegate. It's like a remake, but not really. It's almost like a
Yeah.
fifth movie. I don't know. He's in that though. And he's always good in what he's in. I think he's particularly good in the Santa Clarita Diet. He might have been a little underused here, but I like him.
Yeah, he
I
was
like
good.
him.
He's good in
Yeah.
anything I've ever seen him in. That's cool. Awesome. I
Yes,
like when you withhold the
indeed.
trivia till the video. Makes for a
Hmm.
very genuine
Hmm.
reaction.
Just so people know, we did talk a little bit after Lucas saw the movie today, but that was specifically one thing I wanted to, hold close to the chest until later
Yeah.
on. Because I'm like, oh, you won't know this. It'll be good. So, Supergirl, a lot of people were like, about this.
I
I did laugh when she called him bitch.
I
That
mean,
was a
yes,
little funny.
it was funny, but oh my God, was it so out of left field? But then like the whole statement
Yeah.
about like you can't get drunk with the yellow sun, so it's just to go to different planets to get
Hmm.
drunk, and she parties. And like, oh, if I were a human, I'd worry about her. Thanks, Gary. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm. It's
I
like
don't know.
Four's a name. So is Gary. Yeah. It's leading into the whole story, Woman of Tomorrow, where she is basically stranded on a planet and it's the whole story kind of goes from there. It's James Gunn talked about it when he first talked about them doing this. And it is a story from Tom King. And I've actually met Tom King. I might have a photo with him. He was very nice.
If he
He
does, we'll insert the
signed
photo.
he signed my copy of Woman of Tomorrow. So it was
Nice,
nice.
nice.
And I was like, I bet it was great to hear, James Gunn mention your name. And he was like, it was awesome, and he is like writing the movie or something. He's heavily involved with the movie.
That's pretty
So
cool.
it is pretty cool because he is a very nice guy. So I was happy. And his run of Batman, sue me, I really enjoyed it. Okay, people. So anyway, that's really all. But I will say this movie is definitely not a shit show.
No,
Okay.
it's
I
nowhere near.
expected that it would be, but it's
Yes, and
not.
because of that, I expected to go in hating the movie, and at times I like wanted to like it less than I did, almost because of how, how like funny behind the scenes it's been to goof on it for sure. But I mean, I just it really wasn't that bad. Like I said, the pacing had some issues. It needed a lot more time in the oven for a lot of other things.
Hmm.
It was just a lot all over the place, kind of like, not dissimilar to this review, but it it just really needed it came out so quick. Like I was saying, just a single year ago, there was behind the scenes photos, and the movie's done. Like it's in theaters. We just saw the damn thing. It needed a little bit more time to
Yeah.
make. But even with that,
That's
it
a
really
while though. It really didn't come out that quick. They shot it for an appropriate amount of time. They were in Columbus, Ohio forever.
they were in a lot of
And,
places. I watched the whole
that was
credits.
only, yeah, they were in Georgia, Australia, and some other Iceland and
Ohio.
whatnot. But Columbus, Ohio was the one that they stayed the most, and that's where the production office was and whatnot. So very, very, not very close to us, but we could get there in a brisk drive, like a 5 hour drive. I
Very
thought
brisk.
about it, and then I didn't do it. So yeah. Anyway, so it's not a shit show. But
No,
here's the
I
deal.
here's the deal. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Getting down to brass tacks here, I will say
Let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the ape?
that the cast was incredible. This is one of the best casts as a whole that you could ever possibly get for something like this. And they were let down. And they were let down by James Gunn. And this movie, this cast deserved a different writer. They might not have deserved a different director because, his direction is for the most part fine. I
Yeah, I
mean,
honestly didn't have an issue with
with
the
Nicholas
direction of
Holt,
them.
I'm gonna assume that that's a James Gunn issue because Nicholas Holt's a great actor, and that was not a great performance.
But even then, like I said, I did enjoy his performance for what was on screen and what the dialogue that he was given. So
If he was playing the Riddler, sure, sure, but not Lex Luthor.
sorry.
The perfect Lex would be like Bryan Cranston. Does that paint a picture for you?
Yeah, yeah, actually.
Like a very stoic Bryan Cranston
Okay.
that has, authority to him. You're afraid of him, but not because he's crazy and wild, but because you know that he means
Means
what he
business.
says. Yeah. Like just very, I mean, Gene Hackman played a decent version of him. Kevin Spacey played a decent version of him. And yeah, there was some people like in the TV shows. Michael Cutlets played a decent version of him in Superman and Lois. So I don't feel that the character has ever been like nailed as of yet, but whatever. So I hope when this gets a sequel that James Gunn and Angry Joe said this as well, which was very funny, but I hope that he stays on as only producer. We need somebody else to be in the writers and directors chair with this cast.
I do agree
And
100% about the
I
writing
think
part though, because it,
that
it, it held back a lot. It held back a lot.
a lot. And the actors had to go like above and beyond to sell the material because it just wasn't there on the page, And he's lucky, he's fortunate that he got these actors that were as good as they were. Because, man, if there was some lesser actors in it, this could be a
It could have
real
been, yeah,
problem.
yeah.
A real problem. But hey, we'll see what the future holds. It'll be fascinating to see Supergirl because James Gunn has nothing to do with it. And yeah, and eventually, if we ever get Batman, Brave and the Bold, then that's Andy Muschietti or Muschietti. I always forget how to pronounce it. He was the guy that did it, the It
Flash.
movies, The Flash, and he's lovely. Mama, that was one of the first movies he did. It's a horror movie. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's about all
Crypto.
that I have to say about it, but let's go to our scores, unless you have anything else to add to it.
I think we covered our bases, but when we talk about it again at some point, we'll put in whatever we didn't talk about. But
Yes.
I I think I have my score. It was about a 7.5 in the parking lot. And it can go between a 7 or a 7.5 the more I think about it. But I'm kind of leaning toward the 7.5.
In
It's
our short, I think you said 7.
I thought I said 7.5.
I don't know.
Roll the footage back.
That's a strong score. Not that I'm trying to take anything away from you, but this might be the most divided we've ever been on a movie, and
Because the
that's
more I
including
mean,
Jurassic World Dominion into that. So,
yeah, and the more I had thought about like my score for the movie, there are movies that I've given sevens to that are like that I have gushed about certain aspects of. So, like I said, I was just conflicted at certain points. I'm not the biggest Superman like fan. I don't know all the lore. So, I mean, I guess for somebody that like legitimately only sees one comic book movie a year, if that, I guess maybe I'm sort of like the prime target for it. And for what it's worth, like I said, I like it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But I don't like it. But I like it. Does that make sense? For you and for the audience.
sure, I suppose.
I could think of way worse, ways to kill 2 hours and 9 minutes, I guess.
Name some. No, I'm kidding. So you're
Terrifier
gonna.
2.
That was pretty good though. No, wait, no, it wasn't. Three was pretty good. I take that back. No, Terrifier 2 was terrible. That I would absolutely rather watch this movie than Terrifier 2. Absolutely. So we just pissed off some of our audience there with that, I'm
Again,
sure.
both
Yeah.
facets, the superhero fans and the horror fans.
We'll keep you the good guy through this. No, Lucas loves Terrifier too. I don't know what you just heard. No, he loves it. I'm the one that hates it.
We love
Here we
gratuity,
go,
gratuitous
people.
violence.
Lucas goes between a 7 and a 7.5. I go between a 5 and a 5.5. So going by
Yeah, a
Lucas's
2 point
score,
discrepancy is
it's
large,
massive.
like
And
Brandon has
what
said.
you give it is like a C, C plus. Like that's a
That's
passing grade.
Yep, that's how I feel about
Mine's
it.
a D to an F. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't feel that strongly about it. And
Maybe not an F. Don't get me wrong. It's not an F movie. It might be a D movie though. It might be a D. I mean, if
yeah,
it's a C, it's a
it's a
C
C for me.
minus, but I'm gonna go
That's
with
C,
D
C plus.
on it because I didn't want to see it again. I mean, I had my ticket to see it again today, and I joked with Lucas the other day that I was like, I really don't want to see this movie
Hmm.
again, that kind of thing. I had a headache that night, and I may or may not have been because of the movie. When I woke up the next day, I was like, okay, I'll see it. I'll see it. Like not that it was ever in contention or not, but I was like,
Fate, if you
I
will.
want to look for some things here and there, and then unfortunately. I got massively derailed and it wasn't on purpose whatsoever, but I was not able to see it again. So I'm going by
Yeah,
just my memory of seeing it one time.
I would be curious to see how the IMAX scenes played out on the IMAX screen, because it is bigger than Dolby. It's really nice. The Dolby experience was really good. The seats shook in accordance to everything that was going on. But it wasn't like
Hmm.
a Twisters kind of a thing, right? But it was enough for me to notice, and I feel like you probably should see it in Dolby. I really like the seat
Or
shaking.
IMAX.
I like the seat shaking. Talking about the seats. Thought it was awesome. And I'm always a sucker for it every time it happens. We talk about it. I'm like, oh, remember that one part in Dolby when the seat shook? Yeah, I don't know why I love it. But it was really good,
Apparently, the
people.
movie was completely shot in IMAX, though,
Oh, really?
100%. So I think that is the true way to actually see it. And then maybe because I plan to see it again in IMAX, being that that's what people say is like that's the way to actually like Zack Snyder's Justice League, like that was completely shot in IMAX.
Hmm.
So you get the actual, 4:3 aspect ratio on a giant screen and whatnot. But, you know, see it for your second time in Dolby because the sheet shaking the seat shaking was pretty good. Anyway, that brings us to the end, everybody. What did you think about it? Comment below, let us know. You probably loved it. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
really what the
it's
numbers are on this movie
it
as of
seems to
yet. It's probably
be
doing well though.
on like Rotten Tomatoes, like the critic score is high, like mid 90s, I want to say. The audience score is
That's
high.
way too high.
The audience score is
Way
in
too
the
high.
the mid to high 80s when I checked yesterday, I want to say.
The
But
official numbers can't be out until Sunday night, Monday morning.
yeah,
That's
so the
when they will
consensus on
officially
YouTube
be
though,
out.
and it's getting a lot of traction on YouTube. A lot of people are talking about it. And it seems to be you love it or you hate it because you're in one of two camps. You're Snyder or Gunn, and then you're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna stick to your guns with one or
I
the
don't
other, so to
I
speak.
don't hate it, but I come closer to hate than I do
And
to
then again,
love.
my mine is I can't even say love, but I liked it. My perception is skewed toward liking it. I just like it.
Good deal. Thanks for
The
joining
art
us,
of the deal.
everybody. No, thank you. Uh, thanks for joining us, everybody. Again, let us know how you felt about it. If you want to drag me through the mud, that's fine. I'll look like this figure over here. See, it all comes around. There you go. That's how we started the show. That's how we end the show.
That was
This
pretty
figure
good.
sucks. Nothing against David Cornsweet. That figure's terrible, though. And that's a
Yeah.
gold label figure. Come on. Come on, McFarlane.
Mm-mm,
Come on.
mm-mm.
There's a figure that they have that has like a cloth cape on it and it has interchangeable faces. That one is probably worth your money because that one's pretty good.
There you go, guys. Go and get it before they're gone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you next time.